Hello all, and hello Breakfast Club. I'm Hayes, and I'm taking the guest spot here today, and I would like to thank Paul for giving me that opportunity. The topic is one that I've wanted to talk about for a little while, and the videos that Paul and Brock Lawley have made have been an excellent catalyst for me to chime in on that topic, which would be Islam. And now I'm going to say something that 5 years ago I never thought I would ever say, that being that I largely agree with Brock Lawley on this. I think that it is the ideology and the ideas of Islam that is the fundamental problem that needs to be looked at. It is what that is producing. It is the radicals that it is producing. And I know from what I've heard, it's between 1.6 and 1.8 billion Muslims in the world right now. And of course, not all are radical, not all are terrorist. I am aware of that. But even if, and a clip in Brock's video, it had some number in there that said something like 680 million plus were radical Muslims, or Islamists, whatever you want to call them. And if that is true, then you could still say that, well, it's still not the majority, but that is still a hell of a large number of radicals out there, and it's certainly enough to cause multitudes of problems throughout the world, especially in the Middle East, where, we got Muslims killing other Muslims because they're not the right kind of Muslim. So, yeah, we've got that problem. Then there's the problems of, there's what happened at the London Bridge. There's what happened at the concert just days before that. And there's just an absolute laundry list of terrorist attacks, and I've looked them up. You can go and look it up on Wikipedia to see like the list of terror attacks, and you will notice one huge trend, one idea, one ideology that towers above all else, and that is Islam. It is Islam that is committing these attacks. And yes, not all. I am fully aware of that. I understand there are different sects of Muslims. Hell, in Paul's video, that letter that he read from the person that gave him the rose and the letter, that was a person who is not in that. That is a legitimately, sounds like a good person who is ashamed that these other people that follow the religion that he does are committing these horrible acts, as well as he should be. And he doesn't want people to think that they represent him, and as well as he shouldn't. But to pretend that this isn't an Islam problem, or a problem with that ideology, it's just ridiculous. And there was one thing in Brock's video that I will say that annoyed me, and that was the use of liberal mind and conservative mind over and over throughout the video. And I say it annoyed me, but I can't say that there isn't truth to that. It seems the further to the left that you go, the more inclined someone is to focus on Islamophobia and worrying about how Muslims are going to be treated, and treating Islamophobia like it's going to be the real issue, the real important thing, rather than that people are being murdered because of fundamentalist followers of Islam. Which that's mind-boggling to me. It absolutely is. And I don't really care if it's a left or right issue, but I don't even care about whatever my label is. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But on this instance, Brock is right. The issue is Islam itself. There's plenty of teachings, plenty of sects of Islam that encourage that behavior, that root for that behavior. And it's just such a continuing trend. I've become almost desensitized to when I see it on TV that some people have gotten ran over, people have gotten blown up or stabbed, and instantly my mind goes, well, it's a religion of peace, and 9 out of 10 times that's what it turns out to be. And I know that just recently, it was just within the last few days, it was the Finsbury Park incident where it was some lunatic asshole who just wanted to run over Muslims because he wanted to kill Muslims and he wanted revenge for the London Bridge. That's what he said. And that people are saying that this is a right-wing terrorist. And maybe so. I haven't really heard the right-wing thing confirmed. But either way, this guy, piece of shit, and no better than the terrorists, because he did the exact thing that they do, which is kill innocent people. The difference is, we have lunatic running over innocent Muslims, or then we have lunatic fanatic Muslim who is running over, blowing up, or killing people. But the difference there is we're not really seeing, I'm not anyway, I'm not seeing these attacks on Muslims happen every single week. I'm seeing the fundamentalist Islam Muslims killing people nearly every single week. And that just seems to me that that's where it is a problem with the ideology, especially when the ideology, a large part of it, encourages this. Now, this is largely frowned upon in the West, and again, like in Paul's video, there was that gentleman that wrote that letter, and there was also the people at Finbury Park. I believe it was the Islam I read. I'm not sure if that's even pronounced right, but whoever that was, like, there were the people there, they were getting ready to kick the shit out of that guy, and he said, no, don't do that, wait for the police. And really, I wouldn't have held it against them if they would have kicked the shit out of the guy that ran them over at Finsbury Park, simply because if the second that you decide to take an innocent life for whatever crazy fundamentalist reason it is, as far as I'm concerned, you forfeit your own. So they would have beat the shit out of him, kicked the shit out of him, wouldn't have had a problem with it. But they took the high road on that and just let the police deal with them. And they are. And it's been a universally condemned act, as it should be, without excuses made, without saying, oh, well, it's the West's fault, or, well, we need to worry about the Muslims who aren't killing people and just try to ignore the ones that are. I just do not get this at all. Especially because now it seems a lot of the defense of Islam is coming from the left. It is coming from, I would say, almost maybe not even the liberals, maybe the progressives, the radical left, if you want to call it that. And generally it's, the people that talk about how bad Western culture is, but yet somehow, especially for women, but then decide to defend Islam, which doesn't really have a good track record for how it treats women. And one thing, Paul, that you said, I can't quite remember if it was in your video or if it was the comment that you left me that I definitely want to address, is talking about that, there's more Muslims that are killed by other Muslims than anybody else. And that's absolutely true, especially because if they're in the Middle East, where they're over there, they're throwing gay people off buildings. They're, blowing people up for being the wrong kind of Muslim, where if a woman gets raped, she'll get sentenced to death because she's cheating on her husband or something like that. Or maybe the rapist, he can take her his property. Where those kinds of atrocious, awful ideas that's the living condition, where Sharia law is the law. And it would make perfect sense why a reasonable person, why one of these reasonable Muslims, maybe like the person that wrote you that letter, would want to get the fuck out of there and come to where a superior culture of the West is. Not to say the West doesn't have its problems, but we're not throwing gay people off buildings with impunity. We're not condoning some of the atrocious shit that comes from having a theocratic Islamic state. So they want to come here, they want to worship Muhammad in peace, they have no intention of murdering, stealing, hurting, or raping anyone, even not even atheists. They're all right, fine. If you don't, their belief, their religious belief is theirs and theirs alone, and they also don't feel like forcing it on people, then by all means, they should probably get the hell out of where they are and come somewhere better. But that's where the immigration issue comes into play, because people like that, I think most anyone would welcome someone with that mindset, or at least not have a problem with it. But the problem is when it's a lot of people coming in and say, oh yeah, welcome, open arms. Yeah, we know it's horrible over there. Some of the people that are over there, they're going to want to come elsewhere. Kind of seems like what's happening down there is one of the reasons that led to the Brexit vote, and probably to an extent over here as well, what led to Donald Trump being elected, due to the fact that he did mention Islamic terror, because that is a thing, and yet, when we have one side where it's just like, no, Muslims, they're all absolutely wonderful, every one of them, and even the vast majority may be, but when you look at what's happening in the world and you turn on the news, and every week an Islamic attack is killing someone, you might have to question that a bit. And it seems reasonable to question that a bit. And of course, it isn't all. It isn't all. I am aware of that. And as far as a solution, or like some way to make things right, I don't know how to handle it, to be quite honest. I really don't. The idea that I think this comes probably from more the far right, this internment camp idea is atrocious in and of itself. So that I don't see why I even need to explain that. But it's just about as bad as just, oh yeah, anybody, come on in. Hey, you hate the West, and you're only here to blow some shit up and kill some people because you think Allah's going to reward you and you're going to die and get 72 virgins. Yeah, come on in. That seems also a horrendous idea as well. So it doesn't seem impractical that people might at least want to vet people that are coming into the country first. At least to do something like that line, to, maybe, I don't know, give them a lie detector test or have them talk to a trained psychologist who can see through liars and behavior. So if they're talking to someone and have them in the lie detector test, it's like, do you hate the West? No. Do you want to blow people up because you think you're going to go to heaven? No. And then, oh, well, hey, you failed. You're out. Why are you, oh, hey, why are you coming here? Because I don't want to get blown up. I'm coming here with my brother. My brother's gay. I just, I have a wife and kids, when we're a sect of Muslims. These other Muslims around here hate us and they want to kill us. We just want to come somewhere where we don't have to worry about that and live in peace, be left alone, maybe make friends with people that are actually good people instead of, lunatics, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Come on in. You're more than welcome here. I guess that's just where I'm going with this, and I guess it's just such a tough topic to discuss. I know, because I know there's a lot of nuance to it, and that's one thing that generally I'm not particularly good at, especially because my frustration, as it is generally when I turn on the news, as I said, and something like this happens, my first thought goes to it's the religion of peace, and 9 times out of 10, yep, it is the religion of peace. So I'm going to call this a video for now, because I don't want to ramble on for 30 minutes on this channel. I think most of the videos run from 5 to 15 minutes. And I think I got most of the points that I wanted to get across here. So I'd like to thank you again, Paul, for letting me post this video here in my lovely ranting form. And thanks for the discussion. I look forward to any kind of replies that you have, or maybe I'm wrong about something, and I'm sure that there is something I forgot or something I could talk about, and maybe if you got a free spot in the future and this is a continued discussion or something else, I'd be glad to come back. So again, thank you for hosting me, thank you for all of it, and thank you for the discussion and some of the good videos. So everybody here, take care, and hopefully see you around.